How would you, as president, preserve, protect, and defend the American people and our Constitution from the current Islamic onslaught right here in America?
Vinny, thank you for that very important question. Two principles, and then I'll elaborate. I would speak the truth and defeat our enemies. Let's start with speaking the truth. We cannot defeat radical Islamic terrorism with a president who is unwilling to utter the words radical Islamic terrorism. A few months ago, when we saw the horrific terrorist attack in Paris, President Obama described that attack as a, quote, random act of violence. When radical Islamists with butcher knives go into a kosher deli to murder Jews because of their Jewish faith, there ain't nothing random about that at all. It is a naked act of anti-Semitism and religious bigotry and hatred, and it needs to be called out as such. When ISIS beheaded 22 Coptic Christians, the White House put out a statement saying they were killed because of their Egyptian citizenship. That is not why they were killed. As Pope Francis powerfully said, their blood confesses Jesus Christ. In Kenya, when Al-Shabaab came in on Good Friday and murdered 147 Christians, and just to make it easier for some folks in the White House who seem to have difficulty understanding what's happening, they sorted among the students. If you were a Muslim, you were spared. And if you were a Christian, they shot you in the back of the head, execution style, one after the other, 147 times. If you go and look at the White House statement on the massacre in Kenya, you will search in vain for the word Islam or the word Christian. You know, Jeff asked a little while ago about the false construct the media and the Democrats paint that conservatives are extreme. Let me tell you, the bizarre Orwellian doublespeak of this administration and Hillary Clinton that coddles radical Islamic terrorism, it is extreme and it is stupid. And it has consequences. You know, the political correctness that pervades this administration means they don't target bad guys. So let's talk about terrorism for a minute here at home. I think the administration is both too hawkish and too dovish. For law-abiding citizens, they want our phone records and email. But when it comes to the bad guys, the state of Texas, a little over 5 years ago, Nidal Hassan walked through Fort Hood and murdered 14 innocent souls, including an unborn child. Now, the administration knew that Nidal Hassan was in communication with Anwar al-Awlaki, a radical cleric. He was asking about the permissibility of jihad. And yet, because they're unwilling to acknowledge the evil, the enemy we're facing, we did nothing in that act of terrorism that we had the information and should have prevented. We didn't. Likewise, not too far from here, the Zarnev brothers. We knew they were in communication with radical Islamic terrorists. The FBI went and interviewed them. And then the elder, Zarnaf brother, posts on YouTube a call to jihad. And the administration does nothing to stop the horrific Boston Marathon bombing. That's not simply inadvertence. It is the consequence of not defining the enemy, because apparently they stopped watching them because they didn't understand that when you have someone talking to radical Islamic terrorists about murdering people, we need to pay a heck of a lot of attention to that person. And then if you look at radical Islamic terrorism abroad, ISIS is the face of evil. We need a president who stands up and says, we will defeat radical Islamic terrorism. Right now we have a photo op foreign policy. Drop a bomb here, a missile there. You know, the radicals say they reject modernity. Great. We need to send them back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, baby.
How do you do that? You have a commander-in-chief that lays out a clear objective. We are not going to weaken. We are not going to degrade. We are not going to pinprick ISIS. We are going to destroy them. We are going to make, if you join ISIS, you are signing your death certificate.